Hi and welcome back to Garden Ninja. Now today I'm back in the exploding atom garden and it's a real treat today because I'm going to be planting up the purple border. Now this is my really moody, kind of gothic, angry border that's going to surround the red hot core. It's full of purple plants, structural, architectural and kind of unusual specimens. So today I'm going to be laying them all out, explaining the plants and giving you some hints, tips and tricks as to how you can achieve a similar look in your own garden. So come on, let's get cracking. So I'm no different to any of you other gardeners in that I too get weeds in my garden, and as you can see there, one of these purple borders has been pretty much colonised by some grass and some annual weeds. So I need to get my weeder out and my hoe and get rid of all of that before I start planting. Now there's no real quick and easy way to get rid of weeds. I do use a weed burner around the house and on some of the other borders, but in this instance it's going to be quicker to get out the tools and just rip them up. So if you look down here, these are Chooser. Now they're probably one of the only true blue flowers that you can easily grow other than things like Mechanopsis, which are a bit of a drama. These get to about 1.6 metres in height at their fullest, so they're going to rocket up in the garden and provide blue blasts. Contrast with the verbena, it's going to look really good. So I'm going to get these bad boys into the garden now. So one of the best tips about planting in autumn is that when you put your plants in, they've got time to establish the roots. Whereas in spring and summer, they're trying to put on new growth, send out flowers or fruits and establish the roots. So by planting in autumn, you're kind of taking away 2 out of the 3 stresses, meaning that your plants have got a higher chance of success. Now, whilst you're not going to get flowers through winter and autumn on most herbaceous perennials, it does mean that come next spring, they're going to start with a bang and burst into life. So whilst other gardeners are stuffing their gardens full of plants in spring, you'll be sat back, chilling, watching your plants come up from the ground and look absolutely fantastic. So the weeding actually took me an awful lot longer than I expected because I contracted tendinitis in my wrist, which is an impact injury from whacking weeds and turf. So top tip, take care when you're weeding because you might end up out of action for a week or so. Anyway, I've now finished planting the purple ring of the exploding atom garden and I just want to walk you through some of the specimens today. It's really windy, it's freezing, it's autumn, so is life. But anyway, I'm going to take you on a little guided tour now of some of my top specimens and explain why I've chosen them. So the first specimen is this one here, and it's an Angelica and it's a purple cultivar. It doesn't look like it's much now, but next year it's going to rocket up to about here and have this incredible huge flower head that's bright purple. We walk a bit further back, the next specimen down here. This one here is a Circeum, which is like a thistle and it's bright blue. So we've got the purple contrasting with the blue. Then move over here, we've got the stalwart, the Verbena bonariensis, which is in so many show gardens because it adds that light, airy touch with a flash of purple. We have over here some Salvia nemrosa, another classic. Got quite a strange salvia just there, which is a blue enigma. It's not actually meant to grow that big, it's grown humongous this year, so that's a real nice surprise. If we move on back here, so down here we've got some baby Thalictrums. Again, they're going to rocket up and give me that height because all these purple borders are there for drama, it's height. As I've said before, it's kind of like my moody goth rock border. Purples, blues, but I didn't just want to focus on the dark colours because if you do that, you can end up with kind of like a one-hit wonder. So what I have done is introduce a few lighter shades. Down here, this limp specimen is a Valeriana, and that again is going to add quite a lot of height. It's got almost like a translucent lemony green leaf and it has white flowers, so the white is going to contrast against the darks and the purples and it'll offer just a little bit of a pop to say come and have a look at me. So if you follow me down here, you'll see these two, one there and one over there. Now these are cardoons and they're huge thistles. They've got like a silvery green colour to the leaf, so they're quite light. They blend really well with dark, rich evergreen foliage. But they're going to grow humongous. They get to about 1.5 meters in diameter. They'll get to 1.5 meters, if not 2 in height, depending on the quality of your soil and the nutrient availability. I've only put a couple in this border because I want them to kind of fire off as massive rockets. They're really textured. They're going to be quite aggressive looking plants. Now, if you're going to use a cardoon in a small garden, I would say err with the side of caution, because they do take up a lot of space. But they're brilliant architectural plants to give a bit of a wow factor to an otherwise plain border. Okay, so I've just spotted something else that I've been putting in that I think really needs your attention. Which, when I find it here, they are. Okay, so follow me down. These pathetic looking things are acanthus, and they're bear's breeches. Now, they're a really old, kind of a bit out of fashion plant. Bear's breeches are also known as, but again, that looks tiny. Next year it sends up these huge stems with kind of a wine coloured burgundy flower. They're not to everyone's taste, but I'm not to everyone's taste. So I've planted them here so that I can show you how you can use old-fashioned plants in a more modern setting, and that you should consider all your planting opportunities. Now, it's not all herbaceous perennials in the exploding atom garden. The previous videos have shown you the trees and some of the shrubs. But I do want to show you this Calicarpa, and I've popped this in one of the rings of the purple moody goth borders. These are fantastic shrubs, and the reason why I've chosen it is because it's pretty bland for most of the year. However, in the autumn, you get these amazing, like neon purple berries, and they look like something out of a manga comic. So, now, over here, in the two rings that are near the wooded outer ring, you follow me down, I'm starting to mix in some of the reds here with these plants. And the reason for that is that if I just use purples all the way around, it's a bit of a one-hit wonder. So what I'm trying to do is to link this bed here to the red hot core when I put that in early next year, and also to link it back to the woodland bed. So you'll see some lights, some whites, some softer textures like with the grasses behind me and some of the ferns. And it's about that progression. It's saying that these things are all linked together, and it's supple, it's not obvious, they don't have to stand alone as different areas. That linking, that progression will pull you through and make you feel that, this leads from here to here to here, and it all flows together. Hopefully, anyway. So there is another bigger issue when it comes to planting up gardens, and that's the use of plastic pots. Now, there's no readily available alternative to the black plastic that a lot of recycling centres simply can't recycle. Now, there's probably 200 pots there that have just gone into the exploding atom garden. So rather than just bin them, I'm going to reuse them and use them for seedling trays next year. So I'm hoping to grow all the specimens from the inner core, and I'm going to do that by reusing the pots. Hopefully that'll give me another year with these pots, and I can hopefully find somewhere else to recycle them or then dispose of them. But it's just one of those necessary evils with gardening at the moment, which is the use of plastic. Now, what's next to the exploding atom garden? Well, if you follow me around, you'll see this big circle here, and this is the final ring of the exploding atom garden. And what's happening next is that I've got some gabion cages on order, and I'm going to position them in these beds and fill them with some reclaimed materials that I've got that we used in the build of the house, and tie it all together. But I'm not going to tell you too much just yet, because I want you to come back and have a look when I'm putting it in progress. So if you've liked this video, why not subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you can find plenty more garden design hints, tips and hacks. You can also go back and watch the rest of the videos on the exploding atom garden to see just how far it's come. I've been Garden Ninja, happy gardening.